Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back one more again for another one. I want to introduce y'all to somebody. That's my homeboy, John Taft. Sometimes he would sign up as Taft and his crew, his homeboys. They were always a lively bunch. John was like that laid back dude, kind of chill, and his friends were like the rowdy ones. It was always a good time. And so it's kind of like the yin and the yang. You got I was kind of like the laid back friend most of the time, and then other times I wasn't. But then you'd have the other guy who kind of balances that whole energy out. He was like the laid back guy back in I think this picture was taken back in '08. I think that was '08, March. I'm not sure, but I have some other pictures. And I don't know, he was just a cool dude. And I think I met him up at He's Not Here, and then I did a party for them. I just remember, actually, I think this was that house where I showed up. I think it was the Beta house. I'm not sure. I think he was a Beta. I'm not sure, because I did some parties over there, and I also did some parties over in a Little Fret Court for the Kappas and that crew. But I showed up at the house, and somebody was cooking some steaks, right? They were cooking some steaks, and I was setting up, and one of them said, "Yo, D-Train, you want one?" I was like, "Nah, man, I'm good. You don't have to do that for me. I ain't, I'm still setting up." He says, "Nah, man, it's all good." So they put a steak on the grill, right? I finished setting up. I get the steak, man. You could put a butter knife through it, first of all. And it was cooked how I wanted it, kind of medium well, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And I bit into that steak, and to this day, I think that was like the best steak I've had ever. And I said, "Yo, man, what did you put on the steak? What did you marinate it in?" He said, "You want to know?" And I was like, "Yeah, what did you put on it?" He said, "Salt and pepper." And a little bit of butter. So that was at the house. And then one night, I was up at He's Not. I was playing, and then they go, "Hey, yo, D-Train, you trying to hang out for a little bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I finished packing up. I mean, this is rare. I don't typically do this, but I knew him from before, and it was all good. They were cool. They've always been cool to me. And we went and hung out, and we just chilling and whatnot, and John, this guy right here, he breaks out the violin. Okay, I'm like, what in the world is going on, right? So he starts playing that song. I remember it, and I'm gonna tell you why I remember it in a second. But it goes like well, but he played it so good. He played it so well that it was almost like he reached into my soul, borrowed it for a minute, right? And understood exactly how I wanted to hear it, and he played it like that. He took my soul for a second and played that song so well, I couldn't say anything, right? So he's sitting down, he finishes playing, and me being me, I'm like, "Dang, man, what are you, like a musician or something?" Oh my gosh, those were some good days, man. It was tough though, cause Well, it was good because like the basketball team was doing well, and I think the football team was doing well. Everything was popping. But then I think that was around the same time that Eve Carson was taken from us, and I had another picture where John, right here, this guy, he's in the picture singing on that, that following Sunday. She was killed on a I think it was a Thursday morning or something like that, and these guys came in and supported, and we all just sung some karaoke and had a good time. But the reason I'm talking about John today is because even though we go through a lot of hard times, sometimes you got to remember also the good times. And this was a great time, man. I remember that smile, that that look, you know what I'm saying? And I got some other pictures too of that time. And then some time went by, and I'm watching the news, and the news shows a picture of this woman who had been murdered. Her last name was Taft, and I swear to you, it was as if you took his face and put it on this woman, and my heart dropped, because I knew at that point, I knew right then that was his mom, man. I felt so, I've had family members die, and and it sucks, but I'm fortunate enough to still have my parents and my children, and a lot of my uncles and aunts and such, and I was just thinking of how tough that might be. So I just remember my homeboy with this smile on his face. I remember that smile. The only, like, when I was looking up stuff, like I was trying to find out what he's up to now, and I hope everything's cool. Hope he's able to take the world by storm like I knew he could do before this happened, and I know he still can. But the only picture I saw of him on the internet was that picture when he did his victim statement from the family members.
She pushed me to begin playing the violin at a very early age. When I didn't want to practice the instrument, she would explain to me why nothing worth achieving comes without hard work. She was proud when I finally fell in love with the violin, and she fell in love with my music. I couldn't play Pachelbel's Canon in D enough times for her, and she absolutely loved when I learned to play the music from Phantom of the Opera.
That's the only one. That's the only picture I saw, but when I think of my homeboy, John, this is that picture I think of. This one and a few other ones I'm going to show y'all. So this is how I know him. Wherever you at, brother, you got a seat on the D train. Peace out. Holla at me. JT.